careening across 4 lanes of traffic. They were hit twice. The first was by the police cruiser itself. The second was by a southbound delivery truck that never saw them coming. The airbags inside Najjar's car exploded upon impact, saving their lives but filling the vehicle with smoke and fumes. But theirs was not the only collision. In less than 6 seconds, David had triggered a 17-car pile-up on Azizi Boulevard, shutting down traffic in all directions. David quickly unfastened his seatbelt. "You okay?" he asked.
"Are we still alive?"
"We are," David said, checking his new friend for serious injuries. "We made it."
"Are you insane?"
"We needed a diversion." David couldn't get out his own door. It had been too badly mangled. So he climbed into the back seat, which was littered with shards of broken glass, and kicked out the back passenger side door. He jumped out of the car and surveyed the scene. It was a terrible mess in both directions. The police car was a smoldering pile of wreckage. Gasoline was leaking everywhere. David feared a single spark could blow the whole thing sky high. Inside, the solitary officer was unconscious. Using all of his strength, David pried the driver's side door open and checked the man's pulse. Fortunately, he was still alive, but he had an ugly gash on his forehead, and his face was covered in blood. David pocketed the officer's .38 caliber service revolver and portable radio. Then he pulled the officer far from the wreckage and laid him down on the sidewalk. David hobbled back to Najjar's car, realizing his right knee had gotten banged up worse than he'd first realized. He looked down and noticed his pants were ripped and that blood was oozing from his leg. "You ready to move?" David asked, coming over to the passenger side.
"I think so,"
Najjar said, his arms filled with the laptop and accessories. "Good, follow me." They walked north about 100 meters. Then David turned, pulled out the .38, aimed at the gas tank of Najjar's crumpled Fiat, and pulled the trigger. The car erupted in a massive ball of fire that not only obliterated the vehicle, but all traces of their fingerprints and DNA as well.
"What was that for?"
a stunned Najjar asked, shielding his eyes from the intense heat of the flames. David smiled. "Insurance." David walked north down the center of Azizi Boulevard. He limped his way past wrecked cars and distraught motorists fixated on the fire and smoke, with Najjar close behind. He clipped the police radio to his belt and put in the earphone. Just then his phone vibrated. It was a text message from his CIA colleague, Eva Fisher, telling him to call their boss, Jack Zelinsky, in the secure mode. He did so right away, but it was Eva who actually picked up.
"Have you gone insane? The entire Global Operations Center is watching you via a keyhole satellite. What are you doing?"
The chatter on the police radio suddenly intensified. "I can't really talk now," David said. "Do you need something?"
"I found you a plane," she said. "It'll be in garage tonight."
Suddenly, shots rang out, shattering a windshield beside them. Instinctively, David hit the ground and pulled Najjar down with him between a Peugeot and a Chevy, dropping his phone as he did. People started screaming and running for cover. He could hear Eva yelling, "What is that? What's going on?" But he had no time to respond. He grabbed the phone and jammed it into his pocket. Ordering Najjar to stay on the ground, he pulled the revolver and tried to get an angle on whoever was shooting at them. 2 more shots rang out, blowing out the windshield of the Peugeot. David again flattened himself to the ground and covered his head to protect himself from the flying glass. He could see under the cars that someone was moving toward him. He got up and took a peek. Another shot whizzed by him and ripped into the door of the Chevy. Dead ahead, maybe 10 yards away, was a garbage truck. David made sure Najjar was okay, then made a break for the back end of the truck. His movement drew more fire, but it also gave him a chance to see who was doing the shooting. The blue jacket and cap were the giveaway. This was a Tehran city police officer. Then the officer's voice crackled over the radio.
"Base, this is Unit 116. I'm at the crash site. 1 officer is down with multiple injuries. Witnesses say they saw someone steal the officer's service revolver. I'm currently pursuing 2 suspects on foot. Shots fired, requesting immediate backup."
"Unit 116, this is base. Roger that. Backup en route. Stand by." This was not good. David crept along the side of the garbage truck, hoping to outflank the